Rihanna has taken her 3 children back to Rihanna Drive in Barbados, the same neighborhood where she grew up before becoming one of the most recognizable entertainers in the world. On August 11, 2026, Rihanna shared rare photos and video from the visit with RZA, Riot and Rocki Irish, reflecting publicly on the strange feeling of standing there again, this time as a mother. But there is a bigger story behind those family pictures, because this is not simply a street that happens to share Rihanna's name. It is the road where part of her childhood unfolded, a place Barbados officially renamed in her honor, and a location that has since become a cultural landmark. So how did an ordinary road in St. Michael become Rihanna Drive, and why does her return with her children carry so much meaning now? For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The newest confirmed development comes directly from Rihanna's own social media post. The images show her with all 3 children at the landmark associated with her childhood home. Rihanna described the experience in just a few words that captured the unusual perspective of the moment, writing, "Trippy how life works." She also reflected on the contrast between remembering herself as a child from Westbury and now returning to the street with children of her own. The post did not announce a new project, a new business venture, or a major career decision. What made it newsworthy was something far more personal. One of the world's most famous performers deliberately connecting the next generation of her family with the physical place where her own story began. Rihanna shares her children with A$AP Rocky. Their eldest, RZA, is 4. Riot recently turned 3, and daughter Rocki Irish was born in September 2025. Rihanna has generally been selective about how much of her children's lives she puts into public view, which is one reason a post featuring all 3 of them together attracted immediate attention. Importantly, the public material establishes that Rihanna and the children were at Rihanna Drive. It does not establish that every member of the wider family was physically present at that specific stop, so there is no reason to add details that Rihanna did not show or confirm herself. To understand the moment, you have to go back to the name that appeared on the road before Rihanna became famous. Government reporting surrounding the 2017 dedication identified it as Westbury New Road in St. Michael. Barbados's official tourism material today describes Rihanna Drive as a backstreet near Bridgetown and calls it a cultural landmark. The Tourism Authority also identifies the area as the neighborhood where Robin Rihanna Fenty spent part of her childhood. Long before stadium performances, international fashion campaigns, and the Fenty business empire made her name recognizable far beyond the Caribbean. That distinction matters because Rihanna Drive was not created as a tourist attraction after the fact, with no personal connection to her. The road was already part of Rihanna's biography. Her childhood home stood there. The neighborhood existed before the fame, before the record contracts, and before the global brand. Barbados tourism marketing now uses the location as part of the story it tells visitors about Rihanna's beginnings, highlighting the modest street environment alongside the scale of what she later achieved. In other words, the landmark works because it preserves a visible connection between the international figure and the local community that existed before the world knew her name. The formal transformation came in 2017. That year, the Barbados government announced that Westbury New Road would officially become Rihanna Drive on November 30th, the country's Independence Day. Billboard reported ahead of the ceremony that Rihanna was expected to join then Prime Minister Freundel Stewart for the unveiling, and Rihanna did attend when the renamed street was dedicated. The symbolism was difficult to miss. The same road associated with her upbringing would now permanently carry the name under which she became internationally famous. And the recognition did not stop at a street sign. 4 years later, on November 30th, 2021, Barbados named Rihanna a national hero as the country became a republic. Government records identify her formally as the Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty and say the honor recognized international acclaim that helped raise Barbados's profile. That means the street her children visited in August 2026 is connected to something larger than celebrity tourism. Rihanna has become part of the way Barbados publicly represents its modern cultural identity to the world. That history changes the meaning of the new pictures. Without it, the images could look like another celebrity vacation post. With it, the location becomes almost a timeline by itself. One version of Rihanna was the girl living in the neighborhood. Another was the young singer leaving Barbados to pursue opportunities abroad. Then came the recording career, the businesses, and the international recognition. By 2017, She was standing on that same road while it was officially renamed after her. By 2021, her country had made her a national hero, and now, in 2026, she has returned with 3 children who were not there for any of those earlier chapters. There is also a timing element to this visit. Rihanna has been spending part of August in Barbados during a period filled with both family moments and major cultural celebrations. Earlier in the month, the 2026 crop-over season reached its Grand Calumet finale. Barbados's official festival calendar lists Grand Calumet on August 3rd, and Rihanna took part in the festivities, continuing a long public association with crop-over and Barbadian carnival culture. Around the same period, she and Rocki celebrated Riot's 3rd birthday with a Spider-Man-themed party in Barbados. Then, on August 11th, came the Rihanna Drive photographs. Taken together, those publicly documented moments show that this trip has included not only vacation time, but repeated connections to Rihanna's family and Barbadian identity. One detail in the new pictures even connects those moments in a small way. Riot had just celebrated his Spider-Man-themed 3rd birthday, and during the Rihanna Drive visit, he was again photographed in Spider-Man clothing. It is an ordinary detail, but that is part of what makes the post feel different from a formal ceremony. The 2017 dedication involved government officials and a public honor. The 2026 visit involved a mother trying to gather 3 young children around a place loaded with history, while one of them was dressed like his favorite superhero. The monument is public, but the moment Rihanna chose to share was recognizably familial. There is an important line not to cross when interpreting that. It would be easy to claim Rihanna brought her children there specifically to teach them humility, show them where she came from, or deliver some particular lesson about success. Rihanna did not publicly state those motives. What she did make clear was her awareness of the contrast. She remembers herself as the child from that neighborhood, and now she is watching her own children occupy the same space. Anything beyond that becomes interpretation rather than fact. What can be said confidently is that Rihanna has maintained an unusually visible relationship with Barbados throughout her international career. Barbados Tourism's own profile of her emphasizes not only the road, but her role in bringing worldwide attention to the island. The government appointed her ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary before later naming her a national hero. Crop-over appearances have also repeatedly brought her back into a distinctly Barbadian cultural setting rather than separating her public identity from the country where she was born. And that helps explain why Rihanna Drive itself has endured as more than a novelty street name. Barbados Tourism currently presents the location to visitors as a cultural landmark. Its promotional material focuses not merely on Rihanna's fame, but on the neighborhood environment, the road, nearby community life, and the sense of place behind the global success story. Rihanna's childhood home is part of that narrative. The location functions as a physical reminder that celebrity biographies eventually become compressed into awards, numbers, and headlines, while the actual beginnings are usually far more ordinary. There is another reason this latest post stands out. Rihanna's children are growing up in circumstances dramatically different from the childhood environment she has described publicly. But the photographs place those 2 worlds in the same frame, without Rihanna needing to spell out the contrast. The children are not being introduced to a reconstructed museum exhibit. They are standing on an actual street from their mother's early life, a street that changed names because of what she later accomplished. That is a rare situation for any family, celebrity or otherwise. The Startline takeaway is that the strongest part of this story is not celebrity wealth, fashion, or even the novelty of seeing Rihanna's children together. It is chronology, a location associated with Rihanna before fame became an official tribute to her success. And nearly 9 years after that dedication, she returned there as the mother of 3. The timing makes the old landmark newly relevant because Rihanna herself provided the latest chapter. At the same time, viewers should resist assigning a private parenting philosophy to the visit. Rihanna expressed gratitude and amazement at how her life had unfolded. She did not provide a detailed explanation of what she wanted each child to take away from the experience. There has also been a fresh round of reporting since the original People story was published. Entertainment Weekly, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar all followed with coverage on August 12th, confirming the same central development. Rihanna had shared rare material featuring all 3 children during the Barbados visit. None of those reports introduced a separate official announcement that substantially changed the story. So as of August 12th, the clearest current status remains the same. Rihanna is in Barbados. She publicly documented taking her children to Rihanna Drive, and she described the experience as a striking reminder of how far her life has traveled from that neighborhood. And perhaps that is why a simple street photograph carried so much context. In 2017, Rihanna returned to watch Westbury New Road become Rihanna Drive. In 2021, Barbados placed her among its national heroes. In August 2026, there was no podium and no formal government ceremony. There was Rihanna, 3 young children, and the same place where a much earlier version of her story began. The public record can tell us how the street received its name, what comes next, and how Rihanna's children eventually understand the history attached to it belongs to their family.